I called it. I said last week the Browns were the dark horse to trade for Deshaun Watson, and they fucking did it. They got him.
I get you, but it was like the day before. It was
it's
like
gonna be
the Browns are out.
Yeah, they did. Hey, fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
They were, but they're not.
They was out, and then Baker did it. He was like, "Hey, nah, we need to trade." And it's like,
hey,
all right, you know what, Deshaun, we'll give you whatever you want.
That's what I thought too, bro. Okay, I just want to say the audacity of him to request a trade. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Hey, man.
Hey,
he takes everything to heart.
They are who we thought they were.
Hey, like my man Steve Smith said, you know, hey, he do a lot of crying, man. He do a lot of crying.
He is in his field.
He hasn't led the league in anything but crying.
Yeah, that was savage. It's like, at least I led the league in something.
So Deshaun Watson was traded officially to Cleveland for 3 first-round picks, one in 2022, 2023, and 2024, a 2023 third-round pick, a 2024 fourth-round pick for Deshaun Watson, and a 2024 fourth-round pick. And he also got with that a new 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract. And in the first year of that contract, he only makes $1 million.
Just in case he's suspended. It comes out of that base.
Hey man, that's some smart contractual shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the loopholes. That's the loopholes, and it's fucking disgusting.
No, it's super smart because first off,
it's smart, but disgusting.
If he didn't want to, he wouldn't have signed that contract. But here's what they're doing. He's protecting himself because he's getting fully guaranteed money, right? And the team's protecting themselves because if they need to scramble for some shit this year, they still can. And that's not a whole lot to give up for what can be considered like a 10-year franchise quarterback, right? So you're leveraging the next 2-3 years of first-round picks, which usually you're going to use on a quarterback if you're in their position, and now you got a quarterback. Okay, I'd have given them more if they wanted it. I cleared house.
It's funny you say that, Ryan. I would like to add, this is almost literally equal to the trade that the San Francisco 49ers made to trade up and get Trey Lance. It's very much like it was. They gave him 3 first-round picks was the deal to move up in the draft to get Trey Lance. So I'm glad you said that. The only addition
Griffin, Washington gave him a fuck ton for Robert Griffin, and it didn't work out. This is a proven commodity, right?
Mm-hmm. All right, so let me add one thing. So I looked up the most guaranteed money ever, right?
Yeah, it's 4 people that are recent.
The top 5. Recent. I'm gonna talk about the top 5, right?
Okay.
Top 5 of all time. So I'm gonna start with 5. Dak Prescott, 126 million.
Yep.
Number 4, Patrick Mahomes, 141.5.
Super Bowl champion, MVP.
Number 3, Josh Allen, 150.
Very tall white guy that everybody likes.
Go Bills.
Number 2, Aaron Rodgers, Aaron, 150.7.
Won a Super Bowl once, hasn't been back since.
And he probably won't ever get back.
Definitely not with the receivers he playing with now.
Yep. Number 1, Deshaun Watson, 230. So
it's a bit of a jump.
It's a bit
of a
jump. $80 million jump. Yeah. $80 million. So it's like, is Deshaun worth that? No.
Here's also the thing. So when you're
we don't know.
When you're looking at the money, all those players that we're talking about were already on those teams. So it's not like you have to add additional incentive to coax them to come to fucking Cleveland. You know how much you have to pay me in guaranteed money? It's insane.
I know you hate Cleveland, bro. But still.
But like all those players are already where they're at and they're probably comfy, right? Like Josh wanted to be on the Bills. They had to coax.
Mm-hmm.
He had other suitors, right? You had to coax him to come there, and it's not a whole lot of money if he is a 10-year franchise quarterback, which he is probably going to be. Sounds like a lot of money But once you start winning, you forget about all those dollar signs. It's the same as when they gave Patty $500 million. Everyone was like, yeah, okay. That sounds right.
The guaranteed money is, look, you see in all the reports, right? Cleveland goes from, at the end of the offseason, Baker's that guy, to we're exploring our options, to, oh, Deshaun doesn't want to come here. Baker's our guy. Hey, Baker, you want to trade? Well, we're not going to honor that request. And then the final Hail Mary moment, which happened yesterday, which is Cleveland, Jimmy Haslam basically saying, look, guys, we're fucked. We got Baker that doesn't want to be here. Make this shit happen any means necessary, which is what you hear. Deshaun's agents get the call, and basically they say, hey, you want our firstborn son? What the fuck do you want to be able to make this happen? So he's like, I think Deshaun, them sitting around, yo, 200+ million guaranteed. Can we ask for that? Go ahead. Ask for anything at this point. Hey, do you want to skirt by on the on any sort of infraction they'll have on you as far as the fine goes? Oh, no worry. We're going to transfer that to the signing bonus. You know, Tom Brady did that after Deflategate. We know how to do that shit. Like, it's just, this was Cleveland throwing every single thing in for this particular move. Now, because I root for a shit franchise, and Cleveland's also a shit franchise, I'm wondering when this is gonna go bad. I'm just waiting for it to go bad. But this is them two basically tied to the hip now. I mean, Deshaun, at the end of the day, you do great, you don't do great. You got $230 million guaranteed coming your way. So I mean, like, you're set for life, sir. Cleveland, on the other hand, Jimmy Haslam and the rest of these guys, this has to work. This absolutely has to work for as big a swing as they're taking on this.
Yeah, but it's
okay. So, but James was speaking to his actual value as a quarterback, right? And so, like, I recognize that athletes don't make as much money as they should in general. You know, it's like Pat Mahomes should be making $200 million a year, $300 million a year, $400 million a year, whatever. Because of what he does for the franchise, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? But how good is Deshaun Watson basically? Because at one point I felt like Deshaun was a top 4 quarterback in the league, top 4, top 5 minimum. And now we're talking about, we got a top 4, top 5 quarterback and I feel like when you talk about top 4, top 5 quarterbacks, those are the guys that can win your Super Bowl. And you put him on that roster, right, with Cleveland, which is a really good roster. They have a good defense. They have a good running game. They need a little improvement on the offensive line, but they have, decent receiver. Maybe can add another or two. They have a team that is Super Bowl caliber, right? So is the value, knowing that, is the value of Deshaun Watson and their situation equal because due to that contract, basically, is what I'm asking. Like, hey, that contract, this is our situation. We know we have to overpay, but this is our situation. We're like Kadeem said, we're a shit franchise. Nobody wants to come here, and we're going to give you $230 million. So is it worth it?
We don't know. I mean, that's the point. The jury's out, right? Like that, and the thing is that window is going to be small. So, like, right now, we've talked about on the podcast at length how you need to win on that rookie contract as far as a quarterback, or win before that percentage of contract is eaten up by that quarterback salary, right? So look at Aaron Rodgers with 0 weapons up there in Green Bay. Great, have fun, Aaron. So, like, there's that defense. When Mozgart and the rest of those guys come due, they're going to come due. When the rest of that offense is going to come due, they're going to come due. Like, so you pay this knowing we have a guy that we'll be able to put in that jersey for the next 10 years, like Ryan's talking about. But that Super Bowl window with this squad, and as you've talked about, that squad is a legit squad. They're basically saying, Baker, you've held us back. We know we have a Super Bowl caliber squad, and they better be looking or sniffing around the Super Bowl in the next 2 years. Yeah,
but I think the biggest part of this is how often do these opportunities come about, right? It's like the Tom Brady's to Tampa. It's like, how often do you have a top 5 quarterback who, yes, he was injured, but he's had like a year and a half off now. Obviously, they've watched him throw and practice and stuff, and they're comfortable with the fact that he's healthy and he's ready to go. You don't get these opportunities that often.
Have they?
I'm sure they have. You don't just throw $250 million at something and expect it to be broken when you get it. But even if that aside, these opportunities do not come around very often. And when they do, if you have the opportunity, you got to jump at it. You have to, especially if you're Cleveland. Like that city. Remember when they had LeBron and then he left? Like, that's so tragic for them. Now they're getting Deshaun. Like, they got something, so they don't have to cry every morning. So,
James,
it's nasty business, bro. It's
James, your
all
thoughts?
fucking nasty, bro.
We're gonna get to the
nasty
nasty business, but do you think it's worth it to take the
Mr.
shot?
Nasty Time got paid.
Mr. Nasty Time got paid. Damn,
that was
paid, bro.
It just felt wrong.
Yeah, you have to pay the money if the opportunity's there. 100%.
Look, based on the Cleveland thing alone, we have an entire tourist industry now. It's about to be built. Cleveland's going to be able to build a new gentrified downtown because Deshaun Watson comes to town. I mean, if we're talking about from an investment standpoint, they need shit like this.
All right, looking at their team, right? We've the main complaint that I think we've all had at one point about the Cleveland Browns is still there.
Oh, sorry.
Their coach, like that offense, it's still there. I don't know, like how much.
Or was it Baker? Like,
it was no. Like we looked at the timeline of how the coaches' offenses went with the receivers that they had at that point. Remember, we were discussing like what's wrong with OBJ, and then we was like, all right, is it OBJ or is it the offense? And then we looked at the offense, and then we looked at what that coach did with Minnesota and Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson or Stephon Diggs, and what happened when Stephon Diggs left. And it's the same shit here. So I mean, like, yeah, Cleveland's going to be good.
Also,
like, I don't know.
We also saw him be open within the offense and Baker miss him. All right. Like, I think both things are true, right? Like, I think Baker, it was definitely Baker, but I think it was the coach too, in which I wanted to get to the coach. It was one of my topics. It's like, let's just look at the AFC North alone, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody, you got three, I'd say, really good rosters. 4 really good rosters, and one is missing a quarterback. So 3 complete ones if healthy.
You don't like Mitch?
It's Mitch, bitch.
Nah, you remember his nickname? Like, the nickname is like Mitch the bitch.
No, I'm switching. It's Mitch.
I'm not calling that
bitch.
man that.
No, I never called him that either.
Yeah, I'm not calling that man that. But yeah, so you got 3 complete rosters, right? And with like within the AFC North. But you look at the coaches for the complete rosters, you got Zach Taylor, you got John Harbaugh, Kevin Stefanski. I mean, and look, sometimes it comes down to coaching.
Hey, here's the thing. The Kevin Stefanski thing is like, people go back and forth about whether or not he's a genius or not a genius. You just went over how stacked that fucking team is. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, the guys they have on offense.
Gone, I think.
Regardless, I'm just saying the teams that he's had, right? If I'm looking even when he was offensive coordinator there for Minnesota, unless I'm looking at something completely fucking out of whack, yardage rank in Minnesota, 16th. Then he's been 16th in Cleveland in 2020 and 18th in Cleveland in 2021. Points-wise, he was 8th in Minnesota, 14th, and then 20th, respectively. Then before that, he was a quarterback's coach. You know who he was a quarterback's coach for? Kirk fucking Cousins, the nicest human being on the fucking planet, who you don't have to worry about offending or doing anything to unless you just keep curse words out of your mouth, right? Then you go to Baker. Baker's a different kind of cat, right? And I think you got Kevin Stefanski probably just can't handle it. After what it is that Cleveland did the first year around when he got it, and what did he get, Coach of the Year sniffs and shit? Understandable, because you look at the Cleveland turnaround, right? Mm-hmm. As far as that goes. But you got to look at the talent inflection that they also had on that goddamn team. So, look, anybody that's saying Kevin Stefanski is going to be in here, or the shit that I've been hearing online last year, Kevin Stefanski and his system that we know works. What the fuck, y'all? How y'all know it works?
Oh, it works. It works year one. With all those stats you just read to me, it works better year one than it will work year 2 or year 3.
Oh, so he's like the Tom Thibodeau?
This is the year.
Here's what I know. If they don't start winning immediately, or if Kevin Stefanski said the wrong fucking to Deshaun Watson, his ass is grass.
Oh yeah. Right? You know who did get 250
we are the million? Cleveland Watsons.
Or the Cleveland Antonio Browns.
Do we think he's the coach for the job?
I don't know. The jury's out. I just think I don't like
that though. It's not.
Like, here's what I know. I've disagreed I disagreed on this podcast at length every fucking week that we came on here about what Kevin Stefanski was doing with the Baker Mayfield situation. Look, If you see your quarterback out there struggling his ass off and in pain, your job as a coach is to take that fucking bullet for him or to have the uncomfortable conversation to get his ass out of there. The fact that he let Baker kind of sit in the win, not a Super Bowl winning Baker, is the moment that you're supposed to have that check sort of situation with your quarterback. The fact that he didn't have Case Keenum just rot on the fucking sidelines was enough to let me know something's not quite right with Kevin Stefanski, or you fucking hate Baker. One or the other.
Or the front office is telling him you got to play Baker. So
you know what? The Browns should have got Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy didn't want to leave.
Eric Bieniemy might be the head coach next year.
He might now.
I don't see. I don't unless they win a Super Bowl. I can 100% see Kevin Stefanski's ass up out of here because he doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah, but if Deshaun Watson says, "Hey, I want Eric Bieniemy,"
done.
Yeah, like if he says it today.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like
unless Andy Reid is getting close to retirement, Bieniemy wants that job. So
no, I mean there was discussions of if Eric Bieniemy is going to be gone or parted ways like this offseason. And then it came out that he's coming back for it, like however long, like a year or so. So it's the same shit. Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah, it's all nasty.
I'm excited to see.
It's all nasty business. Like,
all right, so we can talk
Mr.
about
Nasty Time got the most guaranteed money.
I'm just saying, there's not a whole lot of Asian massage parlors in Cleveland. I don't think so.
Mr. Nasty Time got the most guaranteed money ever, bruh. That's crazy. They gave a quarter of $1 billion.
The question I want to ask now is, does the way this has been handled, does the Cleveland's decision to trade for Deshaun speak to how the NFL thinks of women? What does it speak to? Because
it's business. And this segment should just be called nasty work.
You're gonna stop with that fucking word. You are ruining that. That word is
you're saying it because you're saying it wrong.
No, in my mind, that's all I hear because this shit is disgusting. It's all fucking disgusting.
Making me feel all awkward and bad inside.
Good.
Stop.
Good. Good.
It's like hearing moist. It's just
or
panties. You just guys are just.
I'm glad you feel that way because that's how you should feel because this is all fucking terrible. But then also outside of that, right? Quick thought. Cleveland gave all this shit to Deshaun, right? It was like, hey, whatever you want. When I thought about that, I was like, why didn't do you think the Commanders could have done that?
Done what?
I said, like, Deshaun, whatever you want. Like, if he went to Cleveland.
A new owner. We can't do that, man.
Why? He in the same boat with him.
He owns the team. He can't not. Plus, we can't take
the same boat, bro.
I know. We can't take another PR hit.
Dude, that boat is already sinking, and he would be the last weight.
Yep, I'm gonna come with you.
They'd literally just put the hyphen in and put an H in front of the ER at the end. It'd just be the Washington Command hers. All right, and we would just suck, and that's what we would be, and that's what the situation would be. There's no way again. Like anybody that actually thought Deshaun Watson was going to come to Washington is okay. You just want us to be the villains. I mean, cool if we're going to embrace that, but it's just
I don't think not. Like. I'd rather be one franchise.
When Dan Snyder has the United States Congress sniffing around the team, I don't think you can afford to take moves like this. I'm just saying.
So do we think this is nasty work? What do we think this move, like, again, what do we think of the move as far as like how it relates to women in his case? Like, what are our thoughts on the case? Like, are we believing Deshaun? Like, are we believing women? Like, what are you? Not we. I'm gonna say y'all because I'm keeping my shit to myself. So, what are y'all?
That's fucked up. So obviously, there's got to be a little bit of fire here because they already protected themselves for the next year. So they got to know something's going on. The civil documents should be public for the most part. And I think once the prosecutor said he wasn't going to bring criminal charges, everybody's ears perked up like, oh, he didn't do anything. So the problem is there's still the civil cases out there. So it's.
And then if he gets put on the exempt list, like it's like he still gets paid, but it's only $1 million. So it's like $1 million for you to sit home.
It looks like he had done wrong, right? Because if he hadn't, the judges would have thrown these out a long time ago. It's been going on for too long. And just because the criminal cases got dismissed, that's because they didn't have enough evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did this. That's a standard for prosecuting someone, and lots of people get off for stuff that they did because it's not what you've done, it's what they can prove, right?
Yeah.
So you're leaning toward nasty work, Ryan. It's nasty. It's nasty. Okay. All right, Kadeen, I think you're gonna get us riled up here. So give us your take.
Look, Deshaun has. All right, you ever see the movie? You ever see the show Mindhunter?
Yeah.
There's some sexual deviancy when it comes to Deshaun and what he's into. At least that's what I can glean from everything that's happening. Whether or not what he did was criminal is a separate situation from whether or not he's being a creep. And I think being a creep in enough situations and circumstances, you need some course correcting. Look, the thing is, never mind, I can't say that.
I already know what you were going to say.
I can't say that.
I can't wait till we get to the last time.
I can't say.
Look, all right. Here, I was talking to Brendan. Who's been on the pod yesterday. We were talking a lot yesterday. And he was of the idea that no NFL player should be suspended by the league for anything that happens off the field. Because he says that like nothing that unless it's gambling or something that like directly impacts what's happening on the field. So he says you open it up, and I was like, look, in all honesty, the NFL kind of wants to do that, or the owners kind of want to do that, as Cleveland's doing and showing the amount of money they wanted Deshaun to pay. I think the league exists to have punishments and stuff just to protect the league owners from themselves. Because if you left the owners to themselves and doing whatever it is, the brand would probably be shit in 2 or 3 years, because the owners have no scruples about, hey, we'll pay for anything if it means we're going to get Super Bowls, we're going to get money. So I think anybody looking for the NFL or any of the owners to take some sort of moral stand, I think is where you're looking for the wrong thing. You're not coming to the NFL for a moral game. You're just not. We are all participating in shit that's kind of fucked up. Even what Keem said at the beginning, if we were paying the athletes actually what they deserve to be paid, as according to what it is that the money that the revenue they're actually generating for these teams, we'd have a different conversation. Like in every which way, we enjoy the product, and most of us are addicted to the product. And at the end of the day, there's not going to be a whole lot that they can do to us to stand up, get us to turn it off. Period.
I mean, same thing just happened with the MLB, right? Owners making billions and billions in revenue and arguing about $100,000 to minor league players. Like, please.
Hey, how do rich people keep their money?
They keep it away from you. That's how.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
All right.
I respect it up to a point, right? Once your kids' kids are good, fuck off, right? just put it into a mutual fund. Let it grow at 8% for the rest of eternity. You can live off that. Your kids can live off that, and just like give it to the rest of us.
All right.
I mean, it's a dirty business, right? It's not this particular thing, right? This one is in the public eye and is dirty, right? It feels dirty, doesn't feel good, but it's a dirty business. They've been doing this since it began. They're like, here, take this $10,000 and get CTE. Like it's just, they've been doing it for so long. This one is just out there, and there's so many people who have been affected, who are women outside of this, who are now like, hey, that's not cool. And we're all like, yeah, that's probably not cool. But
Deshaun Super Bowl Cleveland. Woo!
The product is so tainted as it is. We're almost like, it's almost like we're used to it. We're so jaded, right? Like it's like, oh, we can gloss over this one thing because we've been glossing over. Remember Ben Roethlisberger? Yeah, same shit.
Loved. Like,
but they kicked Cap out the league.
So here's
because it's a dirty business. It's not dirty. It's not dirty the way that you want it to be dirty. It's dirty in that if we want this person or this product in the league, we will make excuses and find a way to have this person in the league. And if we don't, we will make excuses and find reasons not to have this person in the league. It's dirty business.
I want to read this text message that I did send Brendan yesterday because I thought it summed it up pretty good. It was the relationship between the owners and the Shield, the NFL itself. Okay.
Oh, I thought you meant the show, The Shield. Fantastic show.
Yeah, Vic Mackey. I'm not saying you actually have to have a moral standard. You just have to pretend to. The ideal of protecting the Shield is to protect the owners, not the players, not the game, the owners. The owners are not going to pay into something that can outright punish them. They pay for protection. That's all it is. The Shield itself when they get in the reporters and everything, they're like, look, the league is going to have whatever suspension they need to have. And, after that, the player has played his fine. He's done everything in accordance with the league. And then we can be able to sign him and have it as we want to. And when the follow-up question is, well, how'd you guys structure that contract to make sure he doesn't get the fine? Don't you think that that's kind of usurp? Well, you got to talk to Deshaun and his agents and scurry the fuck away. Like that's what they do.
You mean the league, who the owners pay? They pay the league.
Why do people not realize that? Like Roger Goodell is paid by the owners. The league only exists because the owners want it there. Like what?
It's like if every defendant in a courtroom also paid the prosecutor's salary directly. And they're like, we're gonna dismiss the case. And they're like, how did you do it? What?
The league exists to protect the owners from themselves. Because like if at the end of the day, if it was the case, right, you'd have Dan Snyder, Jerry Jones, maybe two others basically saying, fuck these guys. Scoop up all the players and create their own fucking league. And be like, man, we control all of it. We have 30 teams that are owned by this collective three. Fuck everybody else. The league exists to protect the owners from themselves. They decided as a collective, hey, if you leave a bunch of billionaires in a room fighting for power and glory, guess what's going to happen? Everyone suffers.
Yep. And how do you think they got the money? Yeah. All right. What's next, sir?
And yeah, let's talk about some more football because we're not part of the problem.
So we're gonna transition to what used to be the biggest trade of the week until yesterday.
That was last week, sir.
To Davante Adams getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for first and second round picks this year. He also got a new deal as well, highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. He's making $28.5 million per. He is 29 years old and will turn 30 ahead of the upcoming season. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but I'm gonna let you guys go first, and then I want you to let
James go. Let's get James and this happiness up out of here. Like right now, I should be playing like that Frozen Tundra music and showing clips of John Madden stuff. James.
Rest in peace, John. Rest in peace, John. Man, you changed my mood. Okay.
Hey, James,
also, do you think it's a good deal?
I want to know first. Whose fault is it? Is it Aaron Rodgers' fault?
Look,
how I feel about it, Ryan.
Whoever's watching to this point has already seen every fucking body under the sun ask whose fucking fault it is. Who's to blame? Who the fuck cares?
I see players unretire to go play with Tom. That's all I'm saying. That's what I saw.
Well, I mean, you think what, James Jones is going to come back to play for Aaron Rodgers? No.
He had to play it.
Do you like the deal, James?
Do I like the deal? Yeah. I mean, the Packers could have had Davante sign like an offer sheet with us, and then we would have given 2 first-round picks. So we kind of niced them a little bit. We finessed them a little bit on that front. We could have had to pay 2 first-round picks rather than a first and a second. That's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Davante got offered more to stay with Rodgers.
Do you really think y'all finessed the Packers?
No.
He's only
you understood what I said, right, King? Yeah, you got what I'm saying. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So outside of that, right? The Packers did offer more, but they also have a 7.7% state tax or something like that, and we have 0. So like there's that. He's always talked about the fact that he wanted to play with Derek again. So because there are quotes from years ago. You also have like talks from his family members last year, the offseason.
Yeah,
like
they're
he just
best
bought a
friends.
house.
Like that's established, I think. I thought.
Nah,
Yeah,
I mean, some people
that house is next door to Derek's.
Yeah, and he just bought it like before like all this shit happened. So I'm happy with the trade. I mean, the Raiders are quiet like in the start of the offseason, and as you know, I couldn't fucking take it because I'm like, yo, everybody else is getting really fucking good. Either we're getting good too, or we're gonna fucking trade everybody and just be ass again. But so it's like, what are we doing? And then they get Chandler Jones and Davante Adams like consecutive days. So I'm like, all right, we still need more, but I'm happy with the move because we're at least competitive again.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting yourself in a good position with two superstars.
Yep, third place.
I mean,
I don't think so.
It's already going to be, that division's going to be stupid fun to watch, and it's just getting better, right?
The Chargers didn't make the playoffs last year.
Oh, Jesus, fuck.
When I raised that point last week, it was like, oh no, but they was there. They was almost there.
Yeah,
no, because I'm with James on this one, but still, like Nick, I raised the point last week. Oh, they were there. There's too many.
Okay.
Oh wait,
are we done?
I'll do this one. I'll do this one. We'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see.
Hey, we still need more, bro. We still need we need if we get Collins, which I don't understand how that could happen, but we need that motherfucker.
Who? Landon Collins?
No.
Oh.
Lyle.
Oh.
The right tackle. We need him.
I need Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah, we need him too. I mean, Rocketson's, he's not bad.
No, but he's not Stephon Gilmore.
Oh, of course not. But he don't cost Stephon Gilmore money.
No, but I'm just saying,
do we got Stephon Gilmore money?
I don't understand that because of the division you in.
You got to pay to play, right?
Yeah, I mean, but also you remember we're getting another $20 million after June. So the longer Stephon Gilmore is out there, the more likely I feel like that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think a bunch of the remaining superstars at their respective positions are waiting until that cap space opens.
Yeah,
because one, you're going to want to figure out how to like structure contracts accordingly to the cap space, and also that's more money in a pot, right? And you want that pot to be bigger by the time you get there. So
yeah,
that
I
division,
gotta figure out how the Chiefs did it.
That division is going to continue to just buy things, and the rest of us are just going to be sitting here like.
Mm-hmm. AFC West should be on all primetime games.
Even Deshaun is sitting there like, well, I'm getting a lot of money, but fuck. You saying I got to
play the same thing?
Huh? I love it.
Okay.
I went back, watched some Fresno State tape. Obviously the connection that you have if you've been playing for a while with somebody is always going to be better than trying to slot somebody in. Mm-hmm. They already have that connection. They still need to work on their run game a little bit there in Las Vegas. But
Josh Jacobs, why the fuck did you block us, bro?
Sorry, buddy. But that team, like, they have to do that to compete, right? That's what that division is doing right now. They're basically saying, they're basically like hoarding gold and then like going and stealing gold from other people, and everybody's looking around like, I need more gold now too. So they're just going and grabbing all the gold that they can. So they're going to have a lot of gold in that division. It should be fun to watch. Also, and I know this is about the Raiders, but also fuck you, Aaron Rodgers. Fuck you so much.
Let's see.
We're going to get to that.
This is how it always goes, bro. Sure. Every fucking time.
Well, because I don't hate anybody on the Raiders. Nobody on the Raiders disappoints me greatly every season. But Aaron Rodgers, you're just diddly-dallying out there. Am I coming back?
Diddly-daddling.
I'm gonna fucking do my 10 days of just anal flushing or whatever he did. Man, I wouldn't want to be putting up with that shit either. I know Derek Carr's got a barbecue going, bro. Devontae's a fuck out. I don't blame him in the fucking
Kadeem, do you want to go or do you want me to go so I can? I mean, you can talk about the deal or I can talk about the deal.
I think you're giving me more fun than I am.
So you want me to go?
Let me go and then you wrap it up and just clean the house.
Yeah,
I think that works.
I don't know because I know we transition to after this, and I don't want that energy.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Look, is it a good deal on paper? 100%. Do I think Green Bay did everything they could to make Davante happy in this particular situation? I think so. Why you shake your head at that?
No, he didn't.
Curious. Why?
Because he wanted a deal last year.
No. I'm saying in this particular situation right now, after we've already gone by what has already happened, in this particular situation right here, if they had let it be known on the open market that Davante that he was available, they could have gotten more than what it is they were getting there from Vegas. But what I think they were trying to do right by Davante, knowing that everything had kind of gone to shit. And you want to go play for your hometown team? Cool. You want to go play with Derek? Cool. It's outside of our conference. All right.
And he's a Raiders fan.
Yeah, hometown team, all that shit. Well, it used to be hometown, Oakland, whatever. But it's so I think they did right by him.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Now, what I hope, I have to say this carefully. What I hope happens is that it works out for the Raiders. Unlike a lot of their free agent wide receiver signings, it fucking suck ass. Like other Green Bay Packers receivers that end up there. James Jones, who had the 600-yard season, or Javon Walker, who fucking sucked a dick. Like, it's just terrible shit. When it came,
what happened with him?
Yeah, exactly.
No, it was something serious though.
Javon
Walker, yeah. But continue.
Hold on, am I getting him? I might be getting him.
No. He was there.
Yeah, he was definitely there. Because look at his stat line.
There.
Yeah. Oh, 196 yards one season, then 0. So look, at the end of the day, like I'm really hopeful that it. No, I'm not really hopeful it works out because I want to see James fucking miserable as shit. I really do think that Vegas kind of lucked into this shit, and outside of luck, this isn't a plan. This wasn't something that they had carefully crafted. It kind of showed up on their doorstep, and congratulations for having it happen. I hope they make the best of it. I still think you guys are third in your division, but as I said I thought you guys were fourth in division. I think this is bumped you up to third. But this has been nothing but an offseason of the AFC West, collecting nothing but fucking assets in this Cold War. I have no idea what happens by the end of this offseason. I still think it's too early to predict, but right now, third.
Third?
Yep.
In the division?
Yep.
Who's fourth?
10% back on every ticket.
I'm going Broncos right now, but even with the Broncos, the Randy Gregory thing, I'm kind of like, I think you guys are. I think there are two tiers in my opinion right now, and I understand what you guys are saying about the Chargers. I still think Justin Herbert's ascending. So, and I love the Khalil Mack pickup. So I think.
Why'd you say it like that?
Y'all motherfuckers out here talking nasty. Fuck off. I think it's Chiefs, Chargers, like top division, and then but I think the gap between them is like 2 games. 3 games.
I strongly disagree with you. I think it's Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs. As on paper, we're talking paper champions.
Okay.
Yes, I do. We're talking paper champions. I think it's Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs.
Even with the new
Raiders
coach?
On paper are a better team than Chiefs right now. The Chargers on paper are a better team. The Chiefs are getting older. Their pass rushing duo isn't the best pass rushing duo in the it's the worst in the division. They don't have corner help. They lost the Honey Badger. What are you looking at for the Chiefs on defense?
The Chiefs have the worst defense in the AFC West.
And that's why
offense
on paper
is nuts.
All they've added is Juju.
I got a problem with that.
They really need Juju. But on paper, I think they have the worst roster. They just have the best quarterback, so we're going to vault them to first, which I agree with. I'm just saying paper champions, they're fourth.
Well, even with the new head coach in Denver?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that what they need to do is get Juju on TikTok to start recruiting.
Him and Jackson Mahomes is going to be a problem, bro.
All right. I've been waiting for this moment all week. I feel like this is a terrible deal in the contract sense. And as far as the trade, if you're the Raiders, you have to go make that trade. And I respect that. I love that they did it. You got to go for it. Because the same thing with Deshaun, these opportunities don't come around often, right? The problem is the contract.
Okay.
The problem is the contract because we just paid a 30-year-old wide receiver $30 million a year. That's low end right now quarterback money.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Christian Kirk.
And with that, I just want to will off a couple things, right?
Okay.
Do you know who was 29 3 years ago? Julio Jones.
Okay.
Davante Adams is 29 now. Just give you some stats because this isn't really about me. Mm-hmm. Since 1990, 38 wide receivers have been named to the Pro Bowl in their respective age 29 seasons. I mean, yeah. So how many of them stayed at that level, right? Let's look at that. Using, just looking at it. Of the 38 wide receivers who were stars at 29, 24 failed to produce a single top 5 performance afterward. That includes Hall of Fame wideouts such as Tim Brown, Isaac Bruce, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, AJ Green, Larry Fitzgerald. Guys who are perennially top 5, top 10 wideouts.
Hold on.
Then they kind of
let's go back to the people you said. You said Tim Brown. This was before or after Rich Gannon left because he hurt his neck.
We're not going to get into.
We can though. But that's what I'm saying. Like you also got to look at who's throwing him the ball.
I was leaving that one alone. Can we talk about that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, talk about it.
Adams is having a huge drop off from who is throwing him the ball. He is going to have to adjust to that. Though he played with him in college, the college is not the same as the NFL.
True.
Though maybe they can replicate their success in college into the NFL. Hopefully they do.
Like I said, we'll see.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. But all I'm saying is post 29 for a wide receiver, it's similar to a running back, and the stats really aren't there. Also, just another thing, the Raiders were 7-2 in games decided by 7 points or fewer last year. That's something that you can't really replicate season to season. Usually it's a 7-2 and then a steep drop off. The last time they were that good in like one score games was in 2016, and they went 8-1. And then the year after they went 6-10 with a 4-3 record in one score games. Last year they swept the Broncos when they made the playoffs. Are they going to sweep the Broncos this year? I don't think so, but they might.
It's like, you remember, like, yeah, the Broncos got Russell Wilson, but we got the dude that sacked him the most ever.
They got Randy Gregory.
I just gotta say,
that's true.
That's why
I said we need a right tackle.
Just one thing I'll push back on anything you said, King, because I thought you were just bringing heat. The fact that the Raiders had to go out and get this. No, they didn't. It arrived on their doorstep. This is not them looking for anything. This is, hold on, Davante's available? Yeah, well, listen. Like it's like Jehovah's Witnesses coming to the fucking front door.
It's DoorDash.
Right. Hey, we got Davante Adams. Hold on, what? Is this somebody else's delivery? No, it's yours.
I want to address your point when you said that age 29. I mean, after age 29, like 3 years after, right? I'm looking at the contract now.
I was just giving Julio.
I'm looking at the contract now.
Most recent example.
I'm looking at the contract now. So his cap hit between now and 2024, so the next 3 years, is about $20 million a year. All right.
Okay.
The cap hit this year is $8 million. Next year is 30. He'll still be great. The year after 21. Okay. There's a potential out after that in 2025 when his cap hit is 40 and 40. He's not getting that last 40. He's not going to be there.
I don't think he'll get the last 40.
They'll probably they have to restructure. But you get what I'm saying? They're going to restructure it. So like, yeah, you're talking about like I get what you're saying, but there's an out right there in that
There
thing.
There is an
So,
out. There is an out.
You
I
can talk
understand
about the
that.
contract, but
They'll
like
take it.
if you look at it, like the Raiders put some shit in there to make sure that it's cool. Like you remember who we got them from, like who we got our GM and all them people from New England, who's known for doing shit like this. I mean, I know
Right.
it's still
And-
Belichick, but you get what I'm saying.
New England doesn't make moves like this.
Never.
I know,
Um,
but like they also get rid of players like just in time.
Right. Right.
And
They do that. But they
we
don't
did
make moves
that.
like this.
We put
Right.
that there just to get rid of him just in time if that happens.
That's what you're hoping for. Like now we're talking about hope. That's what we're hoping for, right? Because we're hoping that he stays
like I didn't said. We'll
Like,
see.
top 5. We're hoping all that stuff.
Shit.
It sounds great. Just
Mhm.
in terms of you also gave up a first and a second round pick to make the
Yep.
move, right?
Well, we
Yep.
saw what
So
happened
that's-
with their 2020 picks. Might be a good thing.
I mean, yeah, that's true. They had a bad run drafting. They had a bad run.
Yeah.
But
go
that
get a
stuff usually
proven
turns itself
commodity.
around.
And they got New England guys, so they can't draft a receiver now. They broke that. They could draft Hunter Renfrow on those guys. Now they can't. That's an impossibility now
You
because they
don't
got New
need to
England
anymore,
guys.
right?
I-
Because we got the best receiver and the best, like one of the.
Well, see, that's the thing as far as that best
Is
receiver
Hunter
rotate.
Renfrow the best slot receiver in the NFL?
He's up
No.
there, but I wouldn't say he's number. No,
Like who would you
No.
put over him?
But here's
Like,
the other
I'm
thing:
just
there's
thinking.
some guys that could run the slot exclusively that don't, and
I'm finna say
That's fair.
because I was about to say
That's a
Tyreek
fair
Hill. I was
point.
going to say no because Tyreek Hill
Huh.
is
right,
a
which
lot.
is
slot
why there's a part of
He
me
is,
that kind of.
He's used in the slot a lot. He plays outside too.
But that's my
Because
only
he had
problem
to
with the
get him from the outside corner. But okay.
That's my only thing with the Juju Smith-Schuster thing is that it usually plays a lot of slot, and I always thought they need an actual outside receiver so that Tariq can line up anywhere. But I don't know what the fuck Andy Reid. I think he's scared of receivers at this point. After dealing with Freddie Mitchell and T.O., he's just like, man, fuck this. So the Davante Adams thing. The only other thing that I'll say is that expecting any sort of drop off. He was the only receiver other than Randall Cobb that Aaron Rodgers trusted in that offense. His
Yeah.
target share was insane compared to anybody else in the league. Also, look at those targets. And you had Aaron Rodgers throwing you the football. I don't know anybody that couldn't think that there's going to be at least some sort of reduction in what it is we're going to see on the field.
Mhm.
But once again, he does have Hunter Renfrow on the other side. So
And Darren
opens
Waller.
up some things. And Darren Waller. So we shall see. We shall see.
Wait, but Aaron Rodgers still has Equanimous, so y'all watch out.
I don't know.
Oh,
if
I
he does.
cannot wait to watch the Packers this year.
So before we talk about the Packers, well, I mean, we can kind of skip the Aaron Rodgers shit. But is the AFC West now with Davante Adams and all those great quarterbacks that they have the best division in football?
Yes,
Yeah.
then tell us why it isn't.
Right.
Team.
I wasn't gonna tell you why it isn't. I just wanted to know what you guys thought.
I thought you were going to say the AFC North.
No,
I thought you were
because
gonna
like
need to
before
bang
we
that
said
drum.
it is, and then you said if the Steelers or the Browns get Deshaun Watson, then
I think I
got
said we'll
revisited.
see.
No,
I said we'll
we
see,
did.
I know.
Wait,
and we'll see.
hold on.
And-
Right now, the AFC West has the mantle just because of the quarterbacks and now all the moves. It's been insane. I will say this: AFC North is second. What I did not expect was Cincinnati to be able to rehaul their entire offensive line in one offseason. Now, we still got to see them play together on the field, but goddamn, they were playing.
Who'd they get?
A lot of guys.
Who did Cincinnati get? Like on all
I had to-
Good guys.
Yeah.
They're
Really?
good guys.
They got
Yeah,
thank
Tampa,
God.
one of Tampa's linemen.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I remember
Tampa
that.
dude.
Yeah, they got a couple of guys, but yeah. So if the Steelers had an actual quarterback, like all you need is like a Kirk Cousins, and it'd be the AFC.
I mean, you
North.
could get a Baker Mayfield
They
Baker's
could.
not going to Pittsburgh.
they could,
That's
but I don't
Cleveland's
think
not
they
going to
would.
do that.
if Cleveland said. I mean, shit, they did that.
Look,
with,
hold
Joe
on.
Hayden.
If I
Wade
would
went from
jizz,
Cleveland
I
to
would jizz
Pittsburgh.
in my pants the moment the goddamn alert came through. You know I love Baker Mayfield, and you know what Baker Mayfield does better than maybe anybody? When having a chip on his shoulder. And if he went to Pittsburgh to be able to play the fucking Cleveland Browns twice a year and get Mike Tomlin in his ear and just tell him, yeah, they think this is your mom's a bitch. Like, they're just not. I'm just saying. If you want to talk about entertaining, AFC North becomes the most entertaining division in football by far.
Why did they pay Mitch? It wasn't a lot, was it?
No, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot. It was
Yeah.
like 8 million a year, something like
Oh,
that.
so he's like a backup money, like high end
Yeah,
backup
he-
money.
He's a stand-in.
He is. We are legitimately having a quarterback competition this offseason. We need.
I think they're going to draft. I think they're going to try to draft Malik Willis.
I could see that too.
I think they're going to try to trade up and get him or whatever they have to do. I think they'll guard them. Like Tomlin has like dropped hints over the years like that. He would love to have a mobile quarterback, which Trubisky is a mobile quarterback. So I mean that's kind of what he wants. But yeah, I think he wants Malik. But anyway. So AFC West is the best division in football. We'll see come playoff time who's really the best. Last year was the AFC North. And so I would like to transition to our last topic of the day. Trans women in sports.
Transition. He's just pointing it out. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
That was a great segue. I thought that's what you were doing.
That's not what I was going for at all. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it at all.
But here we are with that transition.
How do you guys feel about trans women in sports as far as a trans woman competing in what other people call, not me, female or sports for women?
Women's sports?
Yes.
They name it. I mean, it's women's basketball is on today. They don't classify it as anything else. It's what it is. Look, we've tried at one point to have this conversation back when we just did the audio pop, and Mauricio said some unflattering things. Remember the whole boxing thing? If I'm a dad, and it was like, calm down, buddy. Fucking Peruvian hothead. So, look, I think anybody look at it, it's a complicated sort of deal, right? Is you have something that is occurring in the sense of like trans people have existed forever, right? And we're finally in society coming to terms with, hey, the same way that like 15, 20 years ago, we were talking about gay people. Before that, talking about black people, anything that society wasn't ready to have certain conversations about. We're finally at this point in this precipice where it's like, no, we're going to have these fucking conversations. We got to figure this shit out. And it's a very real thing as far as putting people that feel as though they're in the wrong body, and what that means or what that does to you mentally, how hard and difficult that is being, and especially if you want to play in a sport around people that you don't believe that you share any real things with. Like, I can understand how that would be hard. The grand scheme of it is, I'm sorry, anybody can look at any of the videos that came out about Lia Thompson, the swimmer for what is it, UPenn?
Lia Thomas.
Lia Thomas, sorry. That was out there. She's breaking records and all kinds of shit, which is always the thing that everybody said was like, hey, we're not worried about it until they're crushing anything to lose it. Look,
she became the first trans woman to win the NCAA swimming title.
Right, which is now the big thing, because you look at the podium, you see the size difference, you see the way that the other women athletes are looking at this. They're like, what the fuck? Everyone can see that there's something not quite right with the situation at hand, right? And I think the biggest discussion we need to have is how we do segregate these sports. The idea of men's compared to women's sports and the segregation of it is something that was sort of made up to make sure that women had a segregated sort of field to be able to play. Because if we said, fuck it, let's just open it up to anybody, right? There'd be some sports that if we're looking at it being unisex, you'd have men and women right there neck and neck. You see it in auto racing, right? You see it in certain things. But then when we're talking about more physical stuff, you look at it and you're like, all right, we can't just have men beating up, like we can't have Floyd Mayweather in the same fucking ring. Like, it's just not going to work, right? So I think that what we need to do is go back to the drawing board and how it is we're going to segregate sports if that's something we're going to continue to do. Or if we need to say that we're beyond that and we're just going to classify people based on skill level and then go that way. But we have to figure out something, because the way that we have been doing it in the past is just not being able to be inclusive enough. But we're also looking at it in a standpoint of making it actually competitive and fair. And I don't think we figured that out, or anybody figured that out yet.
So
I agree. With that.
William Thomas was a sub 450 if nationally ranked swimmer as a man, and number one as a woman. With I would have to expect that he didn't or she didn't gain 450 spots worth of skill over that amount of time. So I was talking with my buddy, and we were like throwing stuff out. Like, obviously it's tough to have men and women's sports when it's purely a physical thing, right? Like you said, auto racing, those kind of things, you're taking a lot of the physical ability out of it. And it's just how good of an athlete you are, plus the car or plus the horse, or, you know what I'm saying? So if there is to be a category, or if we are to recategorize sports, I don't think anybody, especially in swimming, it's just you against the clock, right? If you want to make a separate category, again, there's a lot, we are more open as a society now about trans people. Why not have a separate category for them?
That was going to be my suggestion. That was going to be my suggestion in like sports.
And you would have I think it would be not only more inclusive, you would have people who are like, I'm comfortable now in this body, and now I have a group that I can compete with and against who are on the same level as me and who have also transitioned. And now I'm competing against these people in a fair environment, as opposed to like, and this is crazy. There's a lot of women swimmers who are not particularly happy about this. And I think they have some justification in that they've also been working their whole lives to get to this point, and now they're immediately put at a disadvantage, right? But it's also unfair to Lia, who clearly also wants to compete and wants to swim, and here's where she feels comfortable, but she is just a significant height, strength, weight, all these advantages that otherwise they wouldn't have to compete with. So I don't know if a different category is the right thing to do, but certainly it seems like it would be.
I don't know if I can agree with that one.
What I used to say is just, if you should compete, like, which was ignorant, is like you should compete in, male sports than if you were born that way, which is insensitive to, I think, the fact that people who transition don't feel comfortable, as a male or as a female. And I feel like, so you can't really, so I don't think it's fair to say, hey, just go compete with the men, or hey, just go compete with the women after you've transitioned into what you feel like you truly are.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit in the sense of this. Like, I understand the idea, like giving them another category. That's if there's enough trans people in the category to even make the sport worth anything. Not to mention, Lia is a woman. Lia Thomas is a woman. And if they're going to have a category called Women's X, she qualifies based on whatever it is that they need to do the language on for. And I still think they're fucking up as far as looking at the estrogen levels or the hormone levels, especially after puberty, just because the physical structure has already changed. Like there's a lot of intricacies to this. But the idea that if we're looking at it just from a strict standpoint of it's a women's sport, Lia qualifies, period. And I think that needs to be the thing that we got to figure out, is that if we're going to accept this terminology, which is what we have to, because this is what Lia is, how is it that we have to make sure that the competitive balance is maintained in the sport itself? Like, part of me gets excited about some of it if we do a unisex. Do I think Serena Williams can take on some of a lot of the male field in tennis?
Yes.
I kind of do, right? So like there's a certain element that I'm kind of like, man, fuck the genders. Just let's go at it, right? Let's just fucking do it and see where it is we end up. Maybe changing the way that people go up the ranks so it doesn't become unsafe. I don't know, but I'm just saying that the way that we've classified sport feels as though right now it's outdated and we need to go back to the drawing board.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, and it could be on a sport by sport basis too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. James. Okay. All right. So final thoughts.
I did see
I'll go first because I never go first. I know you guys have.
Wait. I did see a UFC fight where it was a transgender woman versus trans woman versus a woman. That wasn't.
It didn't end well.
I don't know the terms, but I would like to be educated. So.
Okay. I think that's great, James. I think that's more people should say that instead of just saying shit.
I agree.
Yeah. Like if I don't know shit, I'm just gonna be like, hey, teach me.
Oh, yeah. As you said that, I just got to throw in all these fucking right-wing bullshit assholes that want to just be afraid of trans people or just continue transphobia using this as their platform to do so, fuck off. There's an intelligent conversation that can happen behind this entire thing. You just trying to stoke the flames and try to make anyone feel less than is bullshit. And we need to figure out how it is we can have the civil conversation that way.
Yeah, I mean, this generation now is all about who's to blame. How can we fucking like create controversy, like just fucking trolling. Trolling is a thing now. So it's like the right-wing people you talk about, they're just fucking trolls.
Yeah.
And they get paid for it.
I'll start off my final thought by saying Wagwan. Top Boy is back. And I am.
Did you just culturally appropriate my people?
I am Jamaican British for the next week or two,
motherfucker.
So I just think you, bruv.
No, fuck off,
bruv. Relax, bro.
You sound like Drake. That's what you sound like right now.
Oh no!
I mean, that's what the fuck you be doing. So fucking annoying.
Not wrong.
But Top Boy is back. I mean, I'm so excited. Top Boy is back. It's a good show. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Technically, it's season 4, but they call it season 2 since it's been on Netflix. I'm like already like 3.5 episodes in. It's only 8. I'll be finished by Monday or Tuesday. And it's a good show. It's produced by Drake.
Oh.
But the people in it are crazy. It has some great London actors and actresses. Shuri from Black Panther got her start in the original Top Boy series. That's where I first saw her. It has Ashley Walters. It has a few other people that I'm drawing a blank on their names right now, but they're really good actors. It's a good cast. I think it's well written. It's not like a Wire clone or anything, but it's like like if Power tried to be good, like an actual good soap opera. Like that's what it's kind of like that. And I think people should watch it. That's all.
All right, I'm like, great. Just stop. Don't do the fucking fake pass pat swap, man. I can't do it. It fucking sounded real one dance out this motherfucker. Look, the Formula One is back this week. I mean, depending on when you see this, the race might have already happened. Whatever. Really exciting season we're getting into. Lord knows what the fuck has ever happened. Haas looked amazing at a certain point, but we all know they like to fucking do everything they need to do to make sure that they get some good money involved in the fucking team before the season starts. So who knows what the fuck the team ends up being? The key to Mazepin getting kicked out right before there is so many exciting storylines. Whether or not this is going to be the return of Ferrari, whether or not McLaren can kind of stay in the top 3, whether or not Mercedes is going to be able to come back, even though they're not looking too great as far as in the initial qualifying. But we all know they like to fucking skirt their fucking numbers too. I actually do, and then Red Bull is just Red Bull. I actually do believe in the Ferraris this year. I'm actually going with Charles Leclerc to win the to win everything this year. I got a really good feeling about Ferrari, but I am still. What?
Ryan, you see the hoodie that he got on? Did he just say that he thinks Ferrari's going to win with a McLaren hoodie on?
Hey man, McLaren hoodie is comfy.
McLaren's my team, but and my favorite driver is still Lando Norris. I want to see Daniel Ricciardo do what it is they need to do, but you can still see even McLaren's not out here beating their fucking chest in it. What they want to do is still be competitive in somewhere in that top 3, make sure that nobody else is going to jump over them. And I'm really hopeful that that's going to be the case this year. I'm hoping the car is better than anybody, but it just, huh?
It's the revenge tour of Lewis.
I mean, I predicted that last year as far as going into this year, but I just got to make sure we got to see what that Mercedes is looking like after week 1. I mean, they did the comeback last year. They definitely had to come back from last year.
It's the same shit, fam. Like,
yeah, but Red Bull's not. Here's the thing: Red Bull's not fucking around anymore. Red Bull's there. They're there.
They were there last year, and they should have lost.
I'm just saying.
Like, I think Red Bull took Ferrari's place.
Red Bull's
how Ferrari?
What?
Never mind.
Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes have been at the top of the leaderboard for a while. McLaren sneaked in there that one year, 2 years ago, which understood and I love them, and I think that they have some of those talented drivers in the world. I love McLaren. I'm just saying, if Ferrari's actually back at being at the top like they usually are, other than the last few years of disappointments out of Ferrari, I think that we're looking at a different deal because of just the talent that they have on that team. I think Charles Leclerc with the right car is not, if not the second best driver as far as what's going to happen going forward in their career. Lewis is not going to ever be as good as he was. He can still maintain as best as possible, but we all know that we're looking at the end of Lewis Hamilton's career. Right now, I look at Verstappen and I look at Leclerc, and I'm saying those two guys going forward, with George Russell being the young phenom, is just really, really interesting.
I don't agree. Like this isn't basketball or football when it's like these aren't receivers or some shit where they just fall off a cliff. So hammer time's a real thing.
But retirement's also a real thing.
Yeah,
James sounds very Raiderish about Lewis Hamilton right now in Mercedes.
Nah. But okay.
You want
like I said before, we'll see.
We shall.
We'll see. I'm to come for that ass, and I'm gonna talk shit every fucking race.
Goddamn front runner, son of a bitch. Front runner.
Bitch, you ain't like F1 last year. Fuck off.
Oh, technically yes.
All right. So my final thought is, Kata, I sent you a text. So I'm gonna say rest in peace, John Clayton. Think this happened yesterday. Yeah, I just remember from all the ESPN commercials and seeing him on NFL Live and shit like that with Tom Jackson. Yeah, so RIP.
And so is Sean Salisbury pretty much got fired. That was fucked up shit, Sean. Just putting that out there. Nothing. We don't have to get into details.
Yeah. Just I'll call you later. All right. So other than that, tomorrow a Clasico. Kareem Benzema and Mendy aren't playing.
Oh, then it's over. Then it's over.
They still got Vinny. And they have a pretty deep squad, but so do we. So we'll see what happens.
I knew James was going to do John Clayton in his final thought. Like, I knew it. Like, I was like, oh, that's going to be, he's a cancer. He's going to hit the emotional points. He's going to tug on the heartstrings.
You got to say it, fam.
James, you're a cancer?
Yeah.
Keem, do you look up people's zodiacs and stuff? You read their horoscopes?
No, I know his, though.
Did you read his horoscope today?
No, I don't do that. That's stupid.
Just me.
The stars will align.
Glad there's a line somewhere for you in that.
There's a line for everything,
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Is Dante Jackson good?
The cornerback?
Yeah.
He okay.
The Panthers re-signed him 3 years, $35.1 million. That's a lot.
Means no one else is willing to pay.
He's solid, I guess.
I mean, Stephon Gilmore's still out there.
It's March Madness. It's mad. It's been crazy. My bracket is destroyed. Like, it was destroyed day one.
You definitely picked Kentucky.
No, I have Baylor winning, but no. I mean, if you had the Richmond Spiders,
they might not even get past today.
I picked Richmond, and that was my 12-5.
There's been what 3 12-5s already.
Yeah, so, I know. That fucking thing needs to get thrown out. She just split.
Whoever has a perfect bracket or close to perfect bracket, fuck you. There's no way you were like, Kentucky's gonna lose. No, you didn't. You couldn't have. So I mean, you lied to yourself.
So
you lied to yourself and you lied to us. I also want to say I'm going to my brother's wedding. Go fuck yourself. You planned it during March Madness. You didn't think about the rest of us. So now, there's gonna be like 18 dudes with their laptops out during your ceremony because there's 8 games going on at any given time. Also, it's in DC, so we can't even gamble on the games. We got to set our bets before we go. So nobody's happy about that. But I have to go shower and put a suit on because I got to get to a wedding. So I love you all.
Here.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah.
I'm accidentally signed up for a pool that we did of one of the bars, and I'm in second place. I can't win. I'm not supposed to win. I'm just looking. This is bad. All right, guys.
Oh,
Peace.